Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Lu. So, Happy New Year to everybody. We're now in 2025. So, I've mapped out a set of strategy that I intend to adopt for my 2025 financial goals, and I would like to share with everybody. And this is my personal view of how I want to do it. And this is not financial advice, and this is what I'm going to do for myself. And today, I also share a bit about my CPF update as well, given that today is first of January of 2025. So let's watch on, shall we? As usual, these are my disclaimers, and let's go. So I'll first cover what I would adopt for my 2025 financial strategy. Looking ahead, 2025 is a year of uncertainty and risk for myself. Why is it a year of uncertainty and risk? It's because of all these people. Top on the list that caused the most uncertainty and stock market volatility is this gentleman called Jerome Powell. Very powerful person. He is more powerful than all these people combined together. And he will determine the interest rate policy and then affects the rest of the world. And right now, he's occasionally cold, occasionally hot, which makes it very difficult to predict what his strategy will be. And in 2025, the outlook looks uncertain for now in terms of the interest rate strategy. So because of his interest rate strategy uncertainty, that caused a lot of volatility throughout the whole stock market and financial market as well. So he is the main culprit of all this uncertainty. And then I'll talk about what I'm going to do amidst all this uncertainty. The second person that could cause all this uncertainty is this gentleman called Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is going to assume the position of the president of the United States in a few days' time. I will just say this, his policy is going to be very controversial. At this juncture, I don't know whether his policy will be inflationary or non-inflationary. And that's the key one. And his policy could be abrasive as well to many countries, and that cause trade wars and things like that. And all this has very bad repercussions on the entire stock market. I'm not saying that the stock market will crash because of him, but I'm just saying that the market will become very uncertain because there is a good chance that some of these policy he adopt cause a lot of shock waves throughout the market. But also take note, Donald Trump could also cause an upswing in the entire market as well. So that's why it's a lot of uncertainty, which makes it very difficult to decide. The next person that can cause a lot of upheaval is President Xi Jinping. And how he responds to his action will also determine the entire world's economy, how it will last. Now, he himself is also struggling with the China economy, and the Chinese economy also have repercussions throughout the whole world, especially Singapore, because China is a major export country of Singapore as well. So he himself is also going to cause all this upheaval. The other two person that can cause all this upheaval is President Putin and also North Korean president as well. So all these are actors in the Ukraine-Russian war, and right now they are potentially going to come to some form of a talk with Donald Trump acting as a person to try to bring some peace. But Donald Trump has already outwardly said, I don't think it's going to be easy, okay? His election houseology of trying to solve the war in 24 hours is not going to happen, and he outright said this. These characters will determine whether the world have peace or war, and that will set the stage also for whether the world will have normal energy prices and things like that. Another person that can cause the world to have more uncertainty or peace is Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel. He's basically has waged war with 7 or 8 fronts already. And right now, some of his enemies has been defeated. So maybe there'll be some peace that comes with it. But unfortunately, the war in Gaza still have not seen an end to it. And then he's now opening up a new front with Yemen. All these have Middle East potential in rocking oil prices. So looking forward at 2025, I see a lot of uncertainty and risk. And that's why, this one is something that I would like to tell myself there is something I need to do to prepare for all these things. So while looking at this future that is coming, I like to remember what Li Ka-shing has said. He said, in growth, look for stability, and in stability, look for growth. He said in Cantonese, which I can't remember what he said in Cantonese. I'm not good with my Cantonese. But basically, what it means is that in times when it's prosperous, we must quickly establish positions of stability. And in times when it's very stable, quickly look for new area of growth. This principle is very good for me in terms of business and also for investment as well. Last year, 2024 was a powerful year of growth. All our portfolios have gone up phenomenally. And I think that is also an important time for us to now look at stability. This stability, in my case, comes in a form of rebalancing to some cash position as well, which is following what Warren Buffett is doing. So this is a position where I want to strengthen more in this year because there's a lot of growth already. I want to make sure I establish some stability as well. So this is what I'm going to do. This is the year I will step up accumulating more dry powder because I do foresee a time, and I don't know when, maybe in months, maybe in weeks, maybe in years, but certainly this volatility marks some opportunity for me to fire some shots. So this is the time I want to accumulate more dry powder, and I'll describe to you my process of accumulating all this dry powder. First and foremost, it's easier to accumulate dry powder by cutting waste and cutting good to have. I didn't ask everybody and didn't ask myself that I'm going to eat bread and water every day. I'm not going to eat porridge and chiu every day, right? But I'm going to cut some waste, right? So for example, what is some waste, right? Example, and this could apply to you as well. I'm going to cut down on some of my business travel. I love to rush to overseas to shake hands with my business clients and things like that and build business relationship. This year, looking at some of my businesses needs and all this, I think I can afford to cut some business travel. I've already experimented that in the second half of last year. And I think this year I can afford to cut down on business travel, and that cut down quite a lot of my business costs. I'm also established the fact that I can cut down on expensive holiday. To be frank, I don't take much holiday. But when I take holidays, I basically bring my whole family to Europe, Israel, Middle East, US, whatsoever. But this year, I've actually taken a holiday in Malaysia and found that it is not the location that determines how nice a holiday is, but it's the people and activity. This year, we have a wonderful holiday in JB. We have got wonderful food, and we have also played a lot of escape room. We went for go-karting and things like that. And it was equally fun, if not more exciting than some of our places that have gone far overseas. And it's really cost nothing, right? So I think I'm going to do more of that for 2025. I'm going to also look at some of my credit card bills. A lot of things are recurring, and because they're so small, I just didn't care about it. I think I also want to make sure I tidy up some of these expenses. A lot of my apps, maybe I've subscribed to something that is time to cut it away. I also look into it. Right now, my car is like almost failing. Okay, it's reaching its ninth year, and I initially thought that it's kind of like want to fail, that myself get rid of it and get a new one. But I think I can afford to stretch for one more year for the 10th year to come. So I'm going to defer my car purchase because that costs a lot of money, and at least look at $160,000 to $180,000, and I can defer it by 1 year, accumulate some dry powder in that sense. In my new house in JB, the renovation is almost done. I've already gotten basic necessities like beds and all this. The cupboards and all this are there already. But when you have a house like this, you want to doll it up with wonderful furnitures and things like that. I've decided those can wait. I'm not in a rush to move in a big way. We're going to just use that as a holiday place. I think it's fine to just, as long as the house is ready, I can afford to minimize the furniture purchases. So this is what I mean by cut waste or cut the good to have, okay? Necessity, bo pian, we got to buy. But, in terms of cutting waste, I'm going to reduce that. And this is something I think a lot of us can easily do. I'm also going to power up my cash inflow as well. What is cash flow? Basically, make more money. So I'm going to step up my income generation. And how do I step up income generation? Well, work harder. I'm going to flog my business a lot harder, push my business harder as well. For example, some of the things I do, like I do a lot of live streaming. Some of y'all know I run Premium Mall and things like that. I can afford to run more live streams from what we're doing right now. Some of y'all may not know I give a lot of talks. Nowadays, got companies that invite me for giving talks, for financial talks. I think it's time that I actually monetize some of my talks as well. A lot of times they offer to pay me. I said no need because 165 is generally a social movement. But I think right now I can afford to make the talk more exciting and customize a package for the companies, and I give a talk to coach these companies. They're willing to pay me. I'm the one that said no need to pay. So I've actually started to collect fees. I can afford to do more of that to certainly offer these companies some services. So I can afford to take in some cash flow as well from these services as well. This is a very important point. 2025 for sure will be full of volatility, 150%. And those volatility can cause your heart to go up and down, cause you to do stupid things to your investment. This is the time I remember this scene, okay? This is Qui-Gon Jinn from Star Wars. This show is a very long ago. And this is a scene where he faces Darth Maul, a Sith Lord, his enemy. There's a laser partition that separates them for a few minutes. And before he meets, and they can see each other, what he does is he meditates and keep calm, okay? So this is a time that I really want to reflect on this and keep calm and prepare to look away. Unlike Star Wars, because in this fight, he actually lost and died. But I think in a lot of times, we must be prepared to look away from all this volatility, because all this volatility cause you to do stupid things. So for example, in 2022, there was a huge amount of volatility because of great inflation. I looked away. And why I looked away is this. The S&P 500, which I got a huge position in, over a long period of time will have a trajectory that's going up. It has successfully done this for 100 over years. There's no reason why I think it will not continue. Yes, there's a lot of volatility, and you can see here volatility, 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 volatility. But I think this is a time where I think when the market gets rough and volatile, I'll just look away as long as I already apportion my position and rebalance it well already. So I think this is a position I'm prepared to take. And the NASDAQ, which I've also have a big position in, has even more volatility, but also have a very strong trajectory moving forward and has a powerful track record for a long period of time. I'm prepared to turn my head away and not look at it, and so that the volatility will ride away. So this is a very important skill that I've developed, and this is what I'm going to do for myself. This is also a right time I give an update on my 2025 CPF. This is a time where everybody logs in a system and then look at their CPF. So today I woke up in Europe, and I'm working here, by the way, I'm not holidaying here. I woke up and I look into my CPF like most people would do, and found that, wow, the government has given me and my wife $41,000 in CPF. Free money into our CPF, okay? 41 freaking dollars in our CPF. And that's a hell of money. I don't need to lift a finger. I don't need to work. I don't need to worry. And I still got $41,000, okay? And every year, this amount will just continue to build on, build on. Now, I also look at my children's account, and they also have quite a lot of money in their SA. Over time, they put in themselves, I put in for them, whatsoever. So cumulatively in the Lu family, we have got about $55,000 free money from the government because we manage our CPF well. A lot of you say, wow, Mr. Lu, unfair, unfair, unfair. Well, one of the main reasons why I'm able to do that is because I figured out the 1965 strategy, which I share with everybody since 10 years ago. And the second thing I do is that I didn't buy a condo or landed property, which would have sucked up all my CPF. I use that to form my financial safety net, and it's just powerfully built on the cash. If this can happen to me, it can happen to you, right? So it's something that I want to share with you. It's a very important path that I've taken for wealth building. So at this juncture right now, my wife and I, our CPF has a $1.126 million and growing. And this is something that I want to share with everybody. This can be replicated in your life as well if you manage your strategy well. So in young time, we did a lot of right things. We top our CPF as fast as we can, avoided spending our CPF, didn't buy a private property, and accumulated this up. This is not the only amount I have in CPF. I shared a few days ago in my video, but this just formed a wonderful financial safety net that I want to share with everybody. Mr. Lu can do it. You can do it too. And I'll be frank with you. Right now, you might seem that I'm flaunting, but I kid you not, many people have outdone me, even younger than me, okay? And the highest record right now is 4M62. Okay, 4M62. Someone achieved $4 million by 62 years old. I'm not sure I'm able to do that. Okay, so I'm just saying right now, droves and multitudes of people have already caught on the bandwagon and go on already. So this is where I want to share this. I am very, very sure most of Singapore appreciates the interest rate of CPF right now. Why do I say that? Because when the clock struck midnight, I found this thing, right? It says here on the CPF app, okay? CPF digital services will not be available from 1st of January from 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. They didn't want the whole world to log in at that point in time. The system will crash. The CPF board, in my opinion, wanted us to focus celebrating our New Year, and I appreciate that, okay? But you know what? At 8 a.m., everybody rushed in to log in as well. So my advice to CPF board is make the digital service available from 3 a.m. onwards. Then slowly people are spaced out. When you make at 8 a.m., everybody comes in, and then a lot of people could not log in as well. So it's the same thing. Now, jokes aside, all this, I just want to say this. The fact that so many people rush to try to log in means that they appreciate the powerful CPF return of our CPF system. And right now, the other thing I also found that in social media, there is a lot of people putting up, like me, putting up their CPF statement, flaunting their CPF interest. I just need to say this. The 1865 movement is a resounding success because everybody right now appreciate this. We do not have any more Asiao yelling at Hong Lim Park, return my CPF, return my CPF. Those days are over. We have powerfully transformed everybody to appreciate CPF. And this one, I want to give credit to all the 1865 movement members that have spread the word. You have done an incredible job. So make use of what the government has given us to accumulate your wealth for your retirement. So in short, our CPF is a powerful wealth building engine. Powerful system that help you get rich. Don't waste this thing that the government has given you. Accumulate your wealth through your CPF as fast as possible, and you too can have a powerful retirement as well. So to sum up, I got two parts to my talk today. Number one is my outlook for 2025 and what I intend to do. Very simple strategy. And number two is an update of CPF. And I encourage everybody, if you have not harnessed your CPF, now's the time to start harnessing. Thank you for your time. I wish you're having a good, wonderful new year as well. And I'll see you in a day or two. Bye-bye.